Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Syafiqah binti Safi'in. My matric number S55303. So in this video, I would like to show how I do my assignment using the Microsoft Visio. So let's get started. Okay, first step, we need to open the Visio that I already installed in my laptop. Okay, so let's start with the basic diagram for the questions 1. Okay, so in the questions 1, we need to prepare a context diagram that to show the document accounts payable processing at SNS. Okay, so let's start. Okay, the first step, we use the circle shape because the circle shape is showing the where it starts. Okay, so we name it as SNS accounts payable. Okay, then I just increase the size. Okay, next, we have a different department here. So I use the square because square is represents how the process incurred in this process. Okay, so I use the square. Okay, I will rename it as purchasing. Okay, purchasing and enlarge. Okay, so we have the purchasing. Okay, from the purchasing process to account payable, I use the arc, to connect this. Okay, so within this line, I will rename it as purchase order because from the purchasing goes to account payable using the purchase order. Okay, so remove it a little bit. Okay, and then we have the receiving part. Okay, second is called as receiving. Okay, where all the receiving reports goes to the account payable. So I will use the connectors. Okay, and then goes to the accounts payable. Okay, and then I will rename it as receiving report. Okay, because receiving reports goes to the account payable. Okay, then I move into so as you can see, the line here from receiving goes to account payable, from purchasing goes to account payable. Okay, next we use another square to use the vendor. Okay, from the vendor, I use the connectors as well to show that there are invoice goes from the vendors to the account payable. Okay, so here's invoice. Okay, invoice. Next, for the other department, which is management. Okay, management. Okay, I will write this management enlarge. Okay, enlarge Okay, so from from the account payable, okay, there are payment made to the vendor, and also from the account payable, there are account payable report goes to the management. So I will write here, okay, payment and remittance advice. Oh, not here. Remittance advice. It should be here. Okay, payment and remittance advice. Okay, so we know that from the account payable, there are payment made to the vendor. Okay, next, there are from the account payable to the management, there are account payable reports. Okay. Okay, so we have complete the first questions. So this is how the diagram looks like. Okay, next, proceed to the next page. Okay, next, for the questions B, we are required to prepare a level 0 data flow diagram of SNS accounts payable. Okay, so let's start with the sheet first. We use the sheet. We use the circle sheet, okay, as it shows where on page reference. Okay, so this is the first reference. Okay, and we name it as 1.0 records payable. Okay, record payable. Okay, then I use the square for the vendor because this is where all the data came from. Okay, so this is the vendor. This is where the parts are processed. Okay, from the vendor, we use the connectors to the account payable because there are invoice related to this. Okay, so there are invoice here. Okay, next, from the record payable here, we can go to the document where we have the account payable. Okay, after we record, we have the account payable. Account payable. Okay, then I will use the line. I will insert a line. Okay, next, there are connectors from records payable to the account payable. Okay, so I will put it here. As this one is shows that from the records payable there are documents to the account payable. Next, also there are vendors invoice, okay, that we have processed. So I will put it here, and then this one just copy this. And this. Okay, and then I will also put sorry. Next, we use the connectors also. Next, we use the on-page reference. The second one, we have the collect and store purchase order. Okay, order and purchasing reports and receiving reports. So receiving reports. Okay. Okay, so this is where we collect and store purchase order and receiving reports. So we use the data from the purchasing. Okay. Oh, sorry. We use the data from purchasing. So this is purchasing. And the other one, we use the data from receiving. Okay. Receiving. Okay, so from purchasing, we have a purchase order, and then the purchase order we use to collect and store purchase order. So I will use the connectors. We have purchase order for here. Purchase order. Okay, so from receiving, we also have a receiving reports. Okay, so we use that to the receiving 2.0 receiving report. So same, I will use the connectors from receiving to the so I will put it here. Receiving reports. Okay. Okay, next from here. Okay, next we have all the reports, and also we have the purchase order. Next we are going to put them into the document. So I will put it here, purchase order. Okay, so I will make a connector to show that from purchase order there are link between each other. Okay, so that's why I make two row between purchase order and also this reference. Okay, next we use the text, okay, to make another document, which is receiving reports that we receive from the receiving department. Receiving reports, okay. So this one I will make a connector from this reference to the receiving reports. Okay, next step we have another circle, another reference that I will use, which is to make payment. So this part I will write make payments. Make payments. Okay, enlarge. Okay, so from account payable to make a payment, there are connected, there are linked together. Okay, and also from we make a payment, we refer to the account payable. So we need to make a connector that connect each other. Okay, and then from vendor invoice also link to the make payment. From the purchase order also related to the make payment. From receiving reports also used to make a payment. Okay. And also from make payments, we can write it into the cash disbursement journal. So I will write it here and use text to write cash disbursement journal. Okay, so we know that we make a payment and record it on cash disbursement journal. Okay. Next, from this reference, we also need to record it on paid invoice document. So I will put it here, paid invoice, where all the invoice has been paid because we already make a payment. Okay. So I will use the connectors to the paid invoice. Okay. Next, we also need to show that when we make a payment to the vendor. Okay, so I will use the square back, okay, to the payment. So right here, vendor. Okay, so this one will enlarge, and also I will use the connectors from this to here. So we need to put it as a note here that we make a payment and remittance advice. Okay. So next we also have another reference, which is we prepare a management report. So I will put it here, prepare management reports. Okay. Oh, sorry. 4.0 prepare management reports. Okay, so from account payable, we can use a connectors that show we can use it to make a management reports. Okay. And also from the management reports here, we can pass it into the management. Okay, so I will put it here, management. I will write here, management. And then, okay, we use the connectors from the prepare management reports department to the management. So I will use the connectors and write it here, accounts payable reports. And we are done for questions B. So this is my work. Okay, next we go to the question C. Okay, for the question C, we are required to show the document flow chart, account to documents account payable, processing at SNS. So here I will show you guys how to make it. Okay, we use the portrait size. Okay, then I will insert the container. Okay, we use this one. Okay. Okay, next we rename it as, we rename the heading as NS accounts payable. Okay. Next, we use the same container but different size. Okay, to make this here. Okay, drag it into the bottom. Okay, payable. Okay, next we insert the container. Okay, and then we name it as controller. Okay, next we insert another container, put it here, and drag to the bottom. Okay, and then we rename the heading as owner or manager. Okay, so I will put a line here. Okay, this is not the connectors but just a line. Okay, next we start with the account payable. So I will choose the start one because this is the terminator and shows where are the starts. Okay, so here I will put it from purchasing, which we got from purchasing. Okay, and also we have from receiving, from receiving. Okay, and also we use the name it as from vendor. Okay, next I will move it to be close a little bit. Okay, next from start here, from the terminator, we use this shape to show that all the documents are from purchasing. So here we are going to write as purchase order we got from the purchasing. Purchase order, and also from receiving we got the receiving reports. And here we also from vendor we receive the vendor invoice. Vendor invoice. Okay, vendor invoice. Then from here I will use the connectors. Okay, from here to here, from receiving to receiving reports, from vendor to invoice to the list of documents. And next I will use the triangle shapes. Okay, next we are going to find these shapes to show that it's, and I will name it as A. Okay, A. Okay, and for the receive reports too. Okay, so I will use the connectors from purchase order to A, and the same reports to 8. And also okay, next, from the vendor's invoice here, we don't use the file, we don't keep it on the file because we are going to have a lot of flow. So from here, from vendor invoice, we use these shapes to show that where we record the accounts payable. Okay, so I will write it here, records accounts payable. Okay, so we use the connector from vendor invoice to record. Okay, next, from here I will use it and keep it on data. Okay, a bit small. Okay, right here as accounts account payable ledger. Okay, so from here we also have, we need to connect because from accounts, after records, we find it on the data. Okay, next, from here we refer it to the vendor invoice using the documents that we have. Okay, so we use this and then put it here, a little bit small, just a small, and put it here. Okay, I will put it as vendor's invoice. Vendor invoice. Okay, same, use the connectors. Okay, now from the account payable ledger, we use it this we name it as, we need to prepare monthly accounts payable. Okay, so from here we are going to prepare monthly accounts payable. Okay, next, from the vendor's invoice, we use the off-page reference. Okay, name it as and we name it as A. Okay, after we finish this, after that we use to record in this A. Okay, and then from this we are going to record it on mesh per ops. Okay, so just sizing, name it as match per part with receiving reports and put it all together and also the invoice. Okay, so from here we connect it from here. This is a connector. Okay, then here to okay, after finish this part, okay, after we prepare monthly accounts payable, we record it on the report. Okay, so I will put it on the documents here and we name it as accounts payable reports. Okay, use the connector, and then finish it on D. We use the D. Okay, and we put the second one which is on page reference. Okay, we have this reference, name it as D. Okay, I use the connector from here to here. Okay, finish this part. Okay, and also we have all the documents, right? So from here we have purchase order, and then also we have the receiving reports, and also we have the vendor's invoice. All of this comes from mesh per this one. Okay, so we just connect it. Okay, here from here. Okay, now all this work look like this, and all these things we finish it on A. Okay, but this one I will use the circle one. Okay, name it as A. Okay, don't forget to use the connectors. Okay, move it around like this. Okay, also we also need to record this and end it with A. Okay, so I will use the same things, purchase order. Okay, purchase order, and then we also have receiving report. Okay, so we use the documents from receiving reports and also documents from vendor's invoice, and then we use it on the check too. Okay, check too. Then we use this shape to make it off page reference. Okay, so we name it as option, name it as A, and don't forget to connector from these documents to A. Okay, and don't forget from where we got this document is from C. Okay, so we need to make an on page reference and type C. Okay, don't forget the connector. Okay, so we finish these parts, these accounts payable parts. Okay, next we use to make the controller part. Okay, so we start with the on page reference here. Okay, so we type this for A. Okay, and then from A we have the documents, we have the purchase order, we have the purchase order, we have the purchase order, we have the receiving reports, receiving reports, and also we have the vendor's invoice. Okay, so just move it here. So from here we can make it connector from A. Okay, so this shows that we got all the documents from A. Okay, next from the documents, okay, we prepare vendor checks. How to use it? We make these shapes. We use these shapes. Okay, so we know that we are going to prepare vendor checks. Okay, so we use the prepare vendor checks. Okay, then from the vendor check, after we prepare, we can use it to make the journal. Okay, so we can use these shapes to show that all the data are kept here. Okay, so just merge all today and then write cash disbursement journal. Okay, so don't forget the connector. From document we prepare the vendor checks, and from the vendor checks we have a cash disbursement journal. Okay, next, okay, from the vendor checks here, okay, we can refer it to the documents back. So I will put it here, documents. Okay, this one is the purchase order. Okay, next, receiving reports. So we back to the document. Okay, receiving report, receiving reports, then another document, vendors of vendors invoice. Next we have check 1 and check 2. Okay, put it here. Check 1, then check 2. check. Okay, so we need to put a connector from this. Okay, so all the documents were saved in this reference. Okay, so this reference is to B. Don't forget the connector. Okay, so we finish the controller parts. So we go to the owner managers. Okay, this part is the owner manager, so we start with the B. Okay, we use the B reference, B. Okay, next from these parts, okay, we have the all documents. So we just back the documents, the small ones. So this one is the purchase order, and also this one is the receiving reports. Okay, next is the vendor's invoice. Vendor invoice. Next we have check 1 and check 2. Check 1 and also check 2. So don't forget the connector from B to this. Okay. Next, from all this document, we are going to review and sign check. So I'm using this one, okay, to show us that we are going to review and sign check documents. Okay, so review and sign checks. Okay, so from review and sign check, we go to the check 1 and to the vendor. Okay, so we show this one. Okay, from here, go to the documents, check 1. Okay, check 1. Okay, check 1. Okay, the connector from here to here. Okay, then from check 1 to the vendor, where the point is end. Okay, so when we want to end the process, we use this terminator that shows that it is end to vendor. Okay, so finish the process to the vendor. After that, we have another process. We put back the documents, which is purchase order. Okay, next receiving reports. Next, vendors invoice. Next is account payable reports. Check 2. Check 2. Okay, from these documents, okay, don't forget, after review and be back to the documents, so we use the connectors shows here. Okay, next, after these parts, we back to the reference on C, so you put it here, C. Okay, don't forget the connector. Okay, and then we also have the accounts payable reports. Okay, so I use it here, account payable reports. Okay, this part is, okay, this one is, we are refer back to the D. So this is where D, okay, shows from D. Okay, use the connectors from D. Okay, next, after we have the accounts payable reports. Okay, so we review account payable reports. Okay, we use these shapes to show that we are going to review account payable report. Okay, the connector from here to here. Okay, next we add it to the D. Okay, and it to the D back. D. Okay, so the connector this to D. So I already finished showing the flow chart of SNS accounts payable. That's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum.